Okay, everybody, come here real quick. I want to show you something. We're going to be going through basically Social Security disability questions, SSDI, SSI, stuff that you want to know about, but you don't really get a chance to ask your attorney about. I am Attorney Walter Hnot, the most viewed, subscribed to, and clicked on disability attorney in America. And with that said, we're going to be answering as many as we can within the next 30 minutes. Now, there's some basic pool rules that you're going to know. I don't have anybody in my ear. I don't have anybody sending me answers, but the bottom line is I don't have your whole case in front of me. So I can't give you a perfect answer, and you shouldn't rely on it to the maximum degree because I don't know your whole file. And trust me, some of you guys have some hidden stuff that you don't tell me. With that said, no question stacking. When you call in to ask a question, don't stack them. You can do one or two, but don't go beyond that. Keep it straightforward. No story mode. Have your legal question ready. Also, whenever you call in, use a fake name throughout the process. We've got the first caller on the phone already. We're going to go ahead and go directly to him. Good sir, what is your legal question? Go ahead.
Yes, thank you, Walter. About 7-8 months ago, I applied. I'm 61. I applied for disability. I got denied after 3 months. I filed an appeal through a law firm, and 3 months later, I was approved. My question to you is, when I found out I was approved, I received that award or, approval letter. And all it said, which I'm confused, is we found you disabled on such and such a date. You are entitled to this amount of money per month on the fourth Wednesday. And this is the back pay you will get. So my question is, it didn't tell me why I was found disabled. I mean, I had 6 or 7, conditions, medically. I mean, I don't know. It didn't say anything about whether I'm going to be reviewed in a year or 3 years, or they're not going to do that at all. They didn't give me any information as, am I allowed to do anything? I mean, I'm not working because I don't want to, I said I couldn't, but, I don't know. Is there a way I should go about finding out, why I was approved, or it doesn't matter?
Yeah. So the reason you were approved falls into one of 4 categories: either a compassion allowance listing, a grid out, or vocational allowance. But knowing which type of approval you have makes it easier for you to, going forward, be able to go ahead and figure out what they need to keep you on the benefit train. So yeah, super important. Good question. What you want to do is you want to get a copy of your exhibit disc, or basically a copy of the DDE from the DDS. Again, the DDE from the DDS. That will tell you essentially where they rolled the ball when it comes to you being found disabled. Now, the next thing that I want to go through real quick is, yes, you can work, but there are certain restrictions that you need to watch out for. So basically, you're going to be looking at your 9-month trial work period program, 9-month trial work period program. Then you have your 3-month extended eligibility program. Remember, you don't have to write this stuff down because you can just watch the video again.
Right.
And then you also have basically the 5-year ticket to work program. Remember, there are a bunch of rules, regulations, stuff like that. But the main thing you need to know is this: if you're going to do this stuff, you want to use the months wisely, because, remember, the 9-month trial work period, you can split those up. The 3-month extended eligibility, you can't split up. So the moment you start that one, you get hit for the full 3 months, rock and roll from the first month that you start. So you want to play the pick and choose the months kind of game. And then, of course, when you get to the 5-year ticket to work program, in that situation, it is 5 years to the end goal being getting off of disability benefits. Now, do your impairments, are they likely to improve to the point where you're not going to be disabled anymore? Or is this a situation where, realistically, at the end of the day?
No, I've had them for years, and no, they're permanent. Whether it's mental or physical, I'm just not able to work anymore.
Okay. So as a result of that, just to be, really straightforward with you, when you're saying, hey, I want to go back to work, you're talking about a couple hours here, a couple hours there, stuff like that. Okay. So you need to know what the trigger amount is for the 9-month trial work period. So the trigger amount is, just so you know, trigger amount, a 9-month trial work period. It's something over $1,000. It's like right over, $1,160 is the trigger amount that you would earn per month to trigger using one of your 9-month trial work periods. So if you were to utilize that and you just earned slightly over that, then you just effed yourself over. So remember, you're looking for a job.
Get my DDE, and basically they'll tell me what I'm able to do, if anything.
What a lot of people do is they get their DDE and then they call me up. They do one of those private session hours And then I go
Okay.
through the types of evidence you need for that type of approval to keep the SSA happy. And that's one of the smart things a lot of the disabled do once they get their benefits. They figure out what's their long-term strategy to keep, basically CDRs and CDI units off their back.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And can I just ask another real quick question that has to do with when I hired the law firm to appeal my case, they get the usual 25%, and it was a big national law firm. Other than filing the paperwork for me, I never once was able to talk to a lawyer anytime I had a question while I was waiting for a decision. I always had a case handler. So when I paid them their 25%, when they took their cut, just for closure for myself, is there anything behind the scenes that they do with Social Security disability on the phones or anything fighting for me, or it's just a formality?
The mega firms don't really do that much. The big boxers, the smaller firms do, because they have to custom make the claim to get it so that they can win it at the ALJ hearing or win it at recon. It depends on the type of claim too, because remember, law firms will game the likelihood of when the maximum amount of back pay is payable. So if they know it's an older person that is going to get a $3,000 check per month, they're just going to try and win the claim as quickly as possible once that 9K, 9,200 potential attorney's fee has been won. That's the underlying trick there, which means custom work, figure it out, read through the record, find the problem, find the solution, get her done. However, the big box firms don't do a lot of that. They, look, from PI to contract law to disability, the big box firms, the way they do it is everything is hyper automated. So if a personal injury claim, PI claim comes down the line, the attorney will say to the helper, I want paragraph 4, paragraph 6, paragraph 18, and paragraph 32 in that letter, right? It's all hyper automated, not much custom work. The smaller firms are going to build it up, try and win it, get it prepped, etc. And the reason why is because they need the money more than the big firm, because the big firm mass advertises. But things are changing. No longer is it the mass advertising of the big firm that is king among all when it comes to advertising. Now there's these groups, like you've heard of Atticus and things like that. Their main thing is that they mass advertise on Google and Facebook and YouTube and everywhere. They get the claim, and once they have the claim, they go ahead and basically give it to another law firm. So they're a law firm that receives it and then gives it to another law firm for a referral fee. And there's all different kinds. Some people get a referral fee of 10%, 20%, 30%, whatever. Could be 25%. But the point is, when you do that, when you don't just go to the law firm and hire the law firm, you're paying that referral group an extra fee from the attorney's fee that your attorney won't get to use. So your attorney will never be able to spend as much on your claim because they're not going to get as much. But yeah, there's things that you can do to fight for the claim, push it forward, make more money faster, etc. But the big box firms, their main goal is just slow it down to get to the hearing. Once it gets to the hearing, then do what you want to do.
All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely, good sir. But you have a wonderful, wonderful night.
You too.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Perfect. We're going to take the next caller. Remember, we do about 30 minutes. So here's the next caller. Excellent. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live on YouTube. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. What is your legal question? Go ahead.
Hi, I've been receiving disability for the past 7 years.
Okay.
And I recently had a review be done on my case, and I just got back in the mail that they are denying my disability, and my coverage will end. So my question to you is, I would like to appeal. However, there is a form, the request for reconsideration disability cessation form, SSA 789, that I have to fill out within 10 days. Do you recommend getting a lawyer to help me fill that out?
Okay, so real quick, because sorry, my brain, a guitar popped up on my screen because I have to do two things at once, and I had this seafoam green. And when my brain sees seafoam green guitars, it melts a little bit. I'm like, oof, that's a good looking guitar. So just to, so you had benefits, you went through a CDR, you appealed the CDR, they took away the benefits, so they wanted to go through that process. Now you're going into recon, you're wondering, should you hire an attorney to basically help you with the CDR through recon?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So with that said, so how important are these benefits to you?
I mean, they're vital for me.
Okay, so they're like super important. So like the likelihood that you need to win is up there, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, what's your current age?
34.
Okay, 34. So okay. So a lot of attorneys are not going to want to take this claim because the SSA constantly changes rules to make it harder to be found disabled, even though you're going to get adjudicated by the rules of when you were found disabled. When were you found originally disabled?
7 years ago.
Okay. Do you remember what year that was? Because it's late and my math abilities.
2018.
So you're right after the year that they changed the rules in 2017 to make it harder to be found disabled. So, you're gonna have a tough time finding an attorney.
Right.
Yeah. So. So my first thought is, find whoever you can to go ahead and work on it. Because I mean, at the end of the day, you're going to need an attorney to work on it, and it's going to be tough to find one. The next thing my brain is thinking is, why do they believe you're no longer as severely impaired as you are? So were you like going to medical, getting upkeep treatment, having crisis medical treatment at the emergency room, or were you just kind of like chilling at home, not really doing stuff?
Yeah, I was going to multiple specialists. I've had crisis care in the midst of that. I was very on top of keeping my medical records, seeing specialists. Yeah, it was definitely not a case where I was just chilling at home. I was definitely on top of my records, all of that. And I was in the middle of acute and chronic issues and care. So I was definitely being followed by multiple doctors.
Okay. So, all right. Let me ask you this. Top 5 impairments. What's the best evidence you have for each impairment? Go ahead.
What do you mean by that?
What are your top 5 medical conditions, and what's the best evidence you have for each medical condition that you show that you are severe?
Well, my top 2 impairments are one, I'm a 2-time cancer survivor, been through over 4 years of chemotherapy treatment, have had lots of long-term side effects from neurological, musculoskeletal side effects from those. And then there's multiple neurological conditions that have happened from the long-term side effects of the chemotherapy treatment.
Okay. So I guess what my question to you is, okay, I'm not hearing mental in there. Depression, anxiety, panic attacks. What are we looking at there?
Yeah, definitely panic attacks. I was diagnosed with following the chemotherapy treatment, and that all ties into that.
Okay. So, I mean, okay, walk me through this. Like most recent treatment that you had, what's their system for getting you better? Obviously, you can't get better, but what are the medical professionals saying about going forward about how they're going to get you to a better spot?
Medication treatment, like physical and cardiac rehab therapy. Yeah, that's pretty much, I guess I would say, what it would be.
Okay. Let me ask you this. What did they say in the documentation given to you about your impairment? Like when they did the CDR, did they share anything with you that was unique, odd? Like, are you a smoker, a user, abuser, anything that related to tobacco, alcohol, drugs, stuff like that?
No, they didn't.
Okay. Did they give any inference over the phone as a DDS rep as to something they didn't like in the file, or that a particular doctor felt that you were improving significantly?
No, they're the only thing that I have
Yeah.
is they stated we considered the medical and other information as well as work experience in determining how your condition affects your ability to work. We do not have sufficient vocational information to determine whether you can perform any of your past relevant work. However, based on the evidence of file, we have determined that you can adjust to other work. But I don't really know what their evidence in file was either. Like, it's a very small letter that I got.
Yeah, it's a classic output. All right, I'm going to give you some questions for the DDS rep. And then you can always give me a call if you want, but I need you to ask these questions to the DDS rep because you're going into recon. Have you appealed to recon yet or no?
No, I just got the letter, so I'm just in the beginning. I just got it like today in the mail.
Okay, so bottom line is this. All right, and there's no oddities, right? There's no like abusing like medication prescribed to you that was legally prescribed. There's no like
Definitely not.
Okay, there's nothing that they found that was unique about your system where it looked like you might have been abusing a drug or something where they had a number that was really high in a blood test or whatever. None of that stuff, right? You're certain of that.
I'm certain of that. If there is, no one ever communicated that to me.
No prison, no, no jail, none of that stuff?
Absolutely not. No.
Okay. You don't sound like that individual because, the diction syntax, it's just, I got that feeling, because I can usually tell, I know how people are, the feeling I get.
Very straight-laced, upstanding citizen, sir.
Yeah, but you've gotten some driving tickets in the past. I can feel that. All right. You're currently married, correct?
Yes.
And the person you're married to is in the either law enforcement, blue collar, or construction oriented business. Is that correct?
Right.
Yeah, I can feel that. All right. So bottom line is this. Doop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doop. Question number 1 to DDS. What medical facilities have been obtained and what were their in dates and their out dates?
Okay.
Number 2. What is my alleged onset date? Number 3.
Okay.
What is my date last insured?
Okay.
What was the medical doctor primarily used to deny my benefits?
Oh, I like that one. Okay.
Final question. Now, have you already been to a CEME, the medical doctor that they basically, pay to send you to?
No, I have not.
Why not?
They never required that of me. From the initial cancer diagnosis they approved based on like incapacity to work due to multiple hospital chemotherapy visits and all that. So no one ever required that of me.
Okay, but all right. So did you speak with the DDS rep previously that was at the initial filing level and like ask questions, give information, stuff like that?
No, I've never talked to a rep before. I just filled out the paperwork, submitted it, and then they approved me initially in 2018. It was for like 3 to 5 years, and then they would do a review type thing, but they only got to the review last year.
Okay. Okay. So you obviously have some medical documentation because they didn't send you to a CEME, their doctor. But there's one of the people in your medical documentation that's thrown you under the bus. Who is our red herring doctor?
That's the question.
Yes, that is the question. Go ahead. Yeah.
I don't know.
You're not sure. You're not sure. All right. Hey, quick question. Work history with you, and I don't know if this is accurate, but were you mostly in admin and education of younger individuals?
No, actually, I was more in like law enforcement type stuff.
Okay. But were you in admin of law enforcement, or were you actually on the ground? No, not on the ground, but you know what I mean? Like running the, doing detail.
I would say admin, yeah.
Okay. You know, and the reason why I say this now, wait. When it comes to admin, you were not part of like 911. You were part of office, like interaction detail.
No, that I was 911.
You were, oh, man. I was like maybe, but I just didn't feel it because you didn't. You seemed too nice. You seemed too like happy. Like the kindness, the compassion wasn't completely compressed out of your life.
Well, it's been a while now, man. It's been like 7 years. So I've had time to get my empathy back.
Okay. So there's a reason the empathy decided to come. All right, because I was gonna say, I mean, you talk to those 911 people, ain't nothing shocks them. They they're as jaded. Like if you did a Hollywood movie, every single actor from the 911 crew would be like the most jaded person like in the room.
Oh, trust me, I worked with them. I know.
Yeah, because they don't give a bleep. It is what it is. You got your head stuck in a fence. Shit happens. So okay. So all right. So let's do this. Go ask the DDS rep those questions. Get some answers. And then you're going to have to do a little bit of research. You can ask the DDS rep for a copy of your record, start reading through the F folder. And the main thing is we want to see essentially which doctor is the doctor that is throwing you under the bus because somebody said you were improving and they're using it against you.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Well, thank you. This helped me way more. I had nowhere to start. So thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. You have a wonderful, wonderful night.
You too. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. I want to do a quick mega shout out to ACC for doing the $4.99 donation and then another $4.99 donation, which is absolutely amazing. I know who that person is, and I really super appreciate it. And that's absolutely amazing. I did a little heart on the second donation. So it's very, 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 very important. We are at 22 minutes and 42 seconds, which means we are essentially coming to the end of this video because we have about one more caller, maybe two more callers left. Now, I did miss a bunch of calls. I do see them on there. In a moment, this phone's going to like light up, start ringing again. We're going to take another call. Please remember to like. Please remember to subscribe. Don't be afraid of clicking the like button. Here we go. Boop. Okay, speaker is on. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live on YouTube. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. What is your legal question? Go ahead.
Oh, I got you. Hey, what's up, Mr. Walter Hnot III?
Howdy.
How you doing? I like you. You're all right, man. I watch you every now and then.
Thank you.
My name is Chris. Wait, no, you know what? My name is Joe Burns.
Okay.
My question is,
yep.
I got denied.
Okay.
And I got the denial letter and everything, right? But I was on unemployment before.
Okay.
And then when I was on unemployment, I had gotten rear-ended.
Okay.
Twice.
Okay.
But the second time was really bad, man. That shit hurt so bad that both my thumbs broke. I wasn't wearing my seatbelt, so like my chest went into the steering wheel, and it caused a hiatal hernia. It was like I went to the hospital, got surgery to repair.
Yeah.
For the hiatal hernia repair.
Yeah.
I got all kinds of I got traumatic brain injury. I was diagnosed and everything, but I got denied, and I knew I was gonna get denied because I watched your show. And, like it always happens, you get denied, and then you do the motion to the appeal or whatever, and then you get. But like I didn't, like I fired my my lawyer because she was lying to me.
Okay.
And then next thing you know, she was giving my number out to like different people.
Mhm.
And like, so like that person had called me, and I was like, dude, like, are you guys friends or what? Because I joined when she called me right away. So I joined the two calls. So we were on three-way.
Mhm.
And so anyways, I wanted to, the only question I had was about the lawyers.
Mhm.
Because it seems like when I got denied, they sent me like something that I have to get a lawyer to file whatever. Like I can't afford a lawyer. Like I can't even like I got traumatic brain injury, dude. Like I got problems. Like was something wrong with me? I
Mhm.
was golf pro before, and I can't. My thumbs are broken. I think there's like trigger finger or something. But both of my thumbs are broken because my hands were on the steering wheel when I got rear-ended, and they. But anyways, so like I know I'm disabled because like you know I got traumatic brain injury. I got all this whatever the heck's wrong with me.
Sure.
But like the attorney, like, do I really have to get an attorney, a lawyer, to take the 33% or whatever? Like that's I can't afford that. Like,
Well, it's 25%. Yeah, it's not the 33%. And remember, they don't get paid unless they win. Yeah, so
when I got rear-ended, I had to give my lawyer. I gave him however many percent, but that was a lot. That was a lot of money. You know what I mean? And I never talked to him, not once.
Mhm.
And it was he was a fraud, and so I felt like, oh man, I'm like had a mess with these lawyers.
Mhm.
But do I have to get a lawyer for the appeal?
No, just keep in mind, like, as somebody with brain damage, you should find an attorney to help you because, you know, building your claim is going to be more difficult for you because you're not going to like see what you need to do, you know, and the SSA isn't going to like tell you what they're not going to like, you know, be like, you know, they're not going to feed you with a little spoon, like, hey, go get this, go do that. Like, they're not going to do any of that. They're going to let you kind of go for it on your own. So, I mean, what I would say is this: you've had really negative experiences with attorneys, and that sucks. It does happen to people, especially when they hire like the big box firms, or they hire some like group to go like, you know, just hire any law firm that's in the area, you know, like one of those like referral, you know, companies. So, I mean, what I would say is this: at the end of the day, like, you know, you kind of you have to do some soul searching to see how capable you feel you are of actually achieving this thing. But I mean, it sounds like you've already gotten one denial. You're in the recon, right? You're going to reconsideration at this point.
To be honest with you, I'm not really sure. When I got that denial letter,
Mhm.
I was really depressed. Like all I saw was the first words. It says deny you your claim, and so I was like really depressed. And then this was like probably about a month ago, maybe 2 months ago,
Mhm.
and I just haven't even looked at that packet that they sent me. I'm like, F this, dude.
Yeah.
I got TV. I can't even comprehend what I'm reading right now.
So, I mean, look, this is honestly what I would say to you is this: you have to find the right attorney to work with you. Get a copy of your medical records, send it off to some attorneys, check in with them, see who you like, kind of go from there. You know, a lot of people see me, you know, you don't have to go with me because I'm the guy on YouTube, but, you know, call a couple of attorneys, ask them, you know, questions about what's likely for your type of impairment to go through, what makes your claim strong, what makes your claim weak, all that kinds of stuff. Because at the end of the day, you know, the bottom line is that you have to like your attorney, which is a less important factor, but you also have to believe your attorney is going to go ahead and do what they can to win the claim. Now, you know, at the end of the day, you have brain trauma, which means IQ lowers, logic analysis not that good anymore. So you got to just be realistic. Your ability to pick an attorney isn't always good. So when I talk to brain injury individuals, I always tell them, go find a friend. So when you call the attorneys, the friend can be sitting there and basically,
Yeah,
you
my
know,
friends do that.
yeah,
Yeah, my friend Kim, she does that. She does
yeah.
that for me.
Yeah. So, you know, and that's just kind of the thing, like, you know, utilize the people, you know, because, you know, at the end of the day, a lot of people know stuff that you won't know or realize or whatever. You know, use what you can to get out of the situation what you can, because I'm telling you, man, like, you know, you picked a bad attorney. You know, was your prior attorney like one of those, like, you know, part of a mega firm, yada yada, or what was the deal?
And she was, I was, she was, it was a big attorney. Like I looked her up on me and my friend Kim. We looked her up on Google.
Sure, yeah.
And I guess that this company was a big firm. They had like, I don't know how many stars. I think it was they had a good rating. And but it was a really big company. Like it was like Hirsch, started with like H or something. I can't pronounce it. But anyway, yeah. So she was like, I caught her in a lie. Like she lied to me twice. And she actually really like to be honest with you, she apologized to me like 3-4 times. And I said, well, no, I don't care about your apology. You know what I mean? Like I just want to like. I just want the truth.
Sure. Now, you've had horrible experiences with attorneys, but I mean, man, you're going to need one. You know what I mean? Because the brain issues. So, what I would say is this: do what you can, and basically we'll rock and roll from there. But you know, you can always catch up.
I think I'm probably gonna hire you, like because like I watch you all the time.
Sure.
And you're the only one that I could trust. You know what I mean?
Oh, I will give you the good news and I will give you the bad news. And people get upset when I give them the bad news and happy when I give them the good news. But man, if you're willing to accept that I'm going to give you the good and the bad, and then we'll talk about what the options are, then that's cool. But I'm not one of those attorneys that like feeds you BS and then you feel smiley. You know what I mean? I give you reality. So if you're cool with that, then, you know, that's cool. But otherwise, you know what I mean? Like, otherwise... All right, if you're cool with that, then I'm cool with that. But all right, well, perfect, good sir. Catch up with me. We'll rock and roll. And we'll catch up from there. You know.
All right, man. All right, thanks a lot, man. All right.
Perfect, good sir. You have a wonderful, wonderful night.
You too, man. Thanks.
Thank you, good sir. Bye bye. Bye bye. I want to do a really big shout out to ACC, the $19.99 donation, which is absolutely, absolutely amazing. And I love the little animation too, which with the little hair and poof, stars pop up. If you guys could be super, super extra nice to the ACC account, she's been donating and doing an amazing job. That's absolutely incredible. So a mega, mega thank you to ACC. If you guys could just, you know, give her some pump up, give her some excitement, I would super duper appreciate it. But we've got the next caller on the phone right now. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are reaching for 30. We're actually at 32 minutes. So you're going to be the last call of the night. What is your legal question? Remember to use a fake name throughout the process. Go ahead.
I'm actually calling to thank you.
Cool.
You gave us some advice when we applied for my husband's disability. He has a rare form of non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. We found out that he was on the compassion allowance list, and we applied January 3rd.
Okay.
And we just were told on the 17th that he was medically approved, but they were going through some history for his employment. And they said that would take about 15 days, which they said we'd get a letter, and we never got a letter. So we called and inquired about it, and they did tell us that he was approved, how much he was approved for, and for what time period, but that it would take another 30 to 60 days before we would see anything from it. But we were approved. So just patiently waiting for them to get through the process of initiating the checks and that stuff. But it was a lot of your advice in helping us to get that what do you call it, the form for saying how the disability affects you and stuff like that.
Sure.
Your advice helping us to get that filled out in a way that was efficient and getting to the point was very beneficial in getting that done. In fact, the lady that was over his case was very impressed with the way that it was written out, and I attribute that to you. So,
thank you.
So I wanted to thank you for that, and I don't want to take all of your time, and I appreciate your help. Thank you.
Well, thank you, madam. That makes me, I feel, it's late, but that makes me feel like I'm chubby right now, so I feel warmer than normal, but I feel like happy warm. So I really appreciate that.
Vicky.
Yeah.
My husband's name is Ben. We'll keep it first name, but we appreciate you a lot, and we're hoping that we can bless you when we get our bonus and the back pay.
Well, no worries about that, but thank you for sharing the positivity, and I'm super now just remember with his situation, learn the type of approval and what types of evidence they're going to like to see in the future. That way, he keeps the CDR people off his back, no CDI units, stuff like that. Although, with his type of impairment, there's not going to be a ton of checkups because of, what it is. But, just learn about the type of approval, and congratulations. And, remember, it takes about 2 to 4 weeks to get the initial payment. You do have to do the pre-effectuation interview call, which is where they do a quick call for SSDI people. SSI people, it's a longer call. Once you get that done, like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you have your back paycheck first, then your forward paycheck, and you're rocking and rolling. Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much for your advice.
Absolutely, madam. Have a wonderful, wonderful night. Yeah.
You too now. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Excellent, everybody. So that was such a beautiful ending to the night, because it's just, you work hard and it's 1:40 a.m. and it's like, wow, it's all, but God, it's a good feeling. That's a good feeling. I got the good vibes going on. I got the good tinglies, the feelings of like, yeah, so come on, get that. So get those benefits, okay. So anyways, I will catch you all a little bit later. Please remember to take care of yourself. Be nice to yourself. Be nice to other people. They just, people are good. Sometimes they suck, but just try to be nice to them. When you're nice to people randomly, it scares them. I understand that. But if you get better at it, you won't scare them as much. Anyways, please remember to like and subscribe. Also, if I helped you, go to Google, type in Disability Resolution Law Firm or Disability Resolution Florida. Throw some stars up there if you like. I always love waking up to see this. I will catch you a little bit later. We go live on Mondays and Thursdays, and mini, what's it called? Free, no, it's not free. It's a full 1 hour consultations. I give about an hour, 10 hour, 20, 15 minutes. That's the link for the contract below. I'll catch you a little bit later. You have a wonderful, wonderful night, and we'll go from there. Thank you so much. Have fun, everybody. We'll catch up later. All right. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.